If you missed Palantir earlier this year, there is a stock that is next. It's called FTAI. We'll have to look at what it's actually called. FTAI Aviation. Um, we don't really trade off of what companies do around here. We basically look at the charts and look at the volume and the price and trade off of that. But I will give you information about the stock and recent developments, including earnings and fundamentals, as well as price levels and volume, which I think are more useful if you're trying to catch a big move and not get caught up in the story of a stock that may or may not pan out. So Palantir was awesome. I think this one is going to be really awesome in the next couple weeks. Let's dive right in. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Hit that subscribe button if you want more timely stock ideas like this. Here we go. This is the stock ticker. And you can see with the chart that it had a pretty rough go over in January. There was a short report that came out from Muddy Waters. A short report basically means they uncovered something that they thought was detrimental to the price of the stock. So FTAI did do an independent audit, which reassured investors. So, you never love audits done by a company itself, but independent, that sounds good. And, what we got to see is earnings reactions were kind of poor and recovered. And then now we have a bit of a change in character. So this is really interesting because the short report came out over here, right? And it's got to get back over that level 150s to really rock. And it kind of looks like it is getting there. So that's the level. If we really zoom in on a price chart, we can see that probably 153, 150 on the dot is pretty interesting. And that lines up with kind of this wick up here, went a little above it. But so, big move on earnings. This is a lot. It doesn't look like a lot on this chart, but when you get 28% move in a single day and then you sort of base and hold for a week or two, that's pretty exciting, especially during this earnings season. So we don't have to get caught up in the chart, though. I know we like to talk about news. We're talking about stocks that are going to be the next Palantir. So look, there are some risks, obviously, with that short report, but they had their dividend. We do see that on the chart. And they have a handful of buy ratings with target prices up in the 170s and 180s. No surprise there. Wall Street loves to issue buy ratings. They acquired a 50% stake in a company called IAG Engine Center Europe at an airport in Rome, Fiumicino, if you've been to Rome. I haven't. So it expands their maintenance, repair, and overhaul capacity by 30%. So I could have just said that at the beginning, but I don't think it's as important as what the chart looks like. But what they do is they repair aircraft engines. So that's pretty important. You lose one engine, you probably got to land the plane. You lose two, you pretty much lose your company. So this company is important. They're not like a drone warfare airfare company like Palantir. This is a little more of a commercial startup-y company. They're not a startup. Their volume is insane. It's 100,000 shares on $100 stock. So, that's like $10 million. Not insane for a huge company, but it's pretty good for a company we've never heard of. They are aiming to deploy over $4 billion into on-lease narrow-body aircraft, whatever that means. Leased aircraft, I guess, means, airlines lease their aircraft, so they're used for other airlines. And narrow-body is a specific type of aircraft, which I guess is thin. It doesn't have a lot of people on it. Anyway, the earnings were good. The reaction's good. The chart looks good. They do airplane turbines, whatever they're called. And this thing looks powerful. I couldn't find a better chart in the entire market. You could walk away from this and know nothing except for what this chart looks like. We can talk about the earnings. They were, I can read the numbers off to you, $1.50. They beat estimates. Revenue was 600, 700 million, beat forecasts. Big adjusted EBITDA, whatever the heck that means. In reality, we know what it means definitionally, but that number they reported was 350 million, and that increased 60% year over year, according to their accountants. And the company increased its guidance to over $1 billion. So, you know, that is reflected here. The earnings result is huge. The holding the earnings is huge. The high volume being met with limited selling off the bat and then sustained sideways action means that this is a really attractive profile for a company. And the moving averages are very close together. The 20-day is catching up. So when this 20-day moving average catches up, I think we could be ready to go here. As always, manage your risk, because in this environment, a lot of breakouts fail. So even a stock that looks like it's going to break out when we're already up 30% from April in the SPY could definitely trail off. So, you know, if you risk 142, you get in at 143, you make at least 10 bucks, and if not more. You can be wrong 7 times and be right 3 times and walk away with an annual return in excess of 30%. I know that sounds insane to get 30% in the stock market, but people do it. We just don't recommend it to the general public because it's very difficult to have that kind of discipline year over year. And also, generally, there's no incentive for information dissemination like that, right? Because financial advisors don't really make money on how much money you make. They make money on fees. So with that said, that's why we have the link below. You can take a phone call with me. We can chat. I'll talk about your portfolio. I will put you something at the end, but it's not to manage your money. Secondly, there is an opportunity to partner with a day trader if that's your speed. He made $9 million. It's verified. I'll actually log into his broker, and you can take a peek at that short training. It just costs your email. And I was involved in the training as well, so it's legit. And I'll actually turn it over to Adam, that day trader, right now. You guys are awesome, and let's listen to what he has to say. $9 billion is nothing to laugh at. Here we go, legit trader. Thanks for checking out this free training. I'm here with the lead sensei of the Aikido trading method, Adam Geffert. I'm just going to log into his broker very quickly so you can see that his results are real. This is his Guardian broker. He does have more brokers than this, but you can see that he's made about $4 million net.
Yeah, Guardian's been a good broker for me. And in this quick video, I'm gonna show the viewer how to trade. Show them a little taste of the Aikido trading method, method that I've. So let's start with the times to trade. The best times I think to trade are on the pre-market and after hours. The stocks move differently than market hours because there's less traders at that time, and also you can do it in those hours, and it won't disrupt a day job or it won't disrupt things that you might want to do during the day. And let's take a look at some of the trades I actually did today here. I'll share my screen. So these are some of my brokers here. They're all brokers that where you can short microcap stocks below 50 million market cap, nano cap and microcap. And here's a trade I did today. This is KTTA. So I made about close to $30,000 on this broker with this one. And I started out in the pre-market after the news hit at around 7 a.m. I shorted it, then I covered.
And if someone's interested in learning more, how can they reach out?
They can go to AikidoTradingMethod.com and click on the free training, and there's some links on there where you can go and then you enter your name and email address, and that actually goes to this video right here. But what we'll do is we'll email you and tell you the next steps to learn more about the Aikido trading method.